Welcome to the Home Business Podcast with Richard Captain Henderson, publisher of Home Business Magazine, and Sherilyn Colleen, managing editor. This how-to show helps you successfully operate your home-based business.
Greetings and welcome to the Home Business Podcast. I'm Richard Captain Henderson, your skipper at Home Business TV. Let's secure, foresee, and get underway. As the home-based business world goes more and more online, the importance of video grows. Your marketing toolbox should contain a good balance of video content. Clients and colleagues have grown to expect video connections, but video content has its own nuances and difficulties and critical success factors. The big challenge comes down to answering this question. How do you make videos that your audience will respond to? You also have to link videos to your business brand and its content marketing. To help us in our candid camera journey, we are joined today by Dallin Nead. Dallin Nead helps entrepreneurs and businesses create authentic, results-driven media so they can share their message and vision with the world. So, greetings, Dallin Nead. Thanks for joining us today. Say hello to our audience.
How you doing, audience? Good evening, everyone. All home-based business owners, this is such a pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you. And calling in from the inspiring and beautiful mountain top community of well, not mountaintop, but set in the Rockies of Denver, Colorado today.
Yeah, the Mile High City. Yep.
Yeah, I love going through there. It's hard. You can't debate a prettier place. And like I say, when I talk to somebody, I haven't found one person that's not like what inspired. You wake up and you see the mountains. There's got to be something inspirational about that.
There is, and when we first moved here, it wasn't too long ago, and I was blasting Don Denver from the radio as we
go.
The valley here, so it's
man, that'll set the music. Rocky Mountain High. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Well, let's get down on the need. Let's get to know you better. You own and operate a business helping your clients create authentic, results-driven media. Tell us a little bit about that yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what I found is I have a deep passion for a positive message. You look around the world and a lot of people share a lot of polarizing and negative messages that don't really inspire, but really degrade in a lot of ways. And so I'm a big believer in not only the power of entrepreneurship in business to help our lifestyles, to help other people, but within that, there exists a powerful message, a positive message that we can share. And the best way to share your message is with content, especially video. Right. What we're doing here, Richard, you've got an audio version of this, you've got a video version of this, and then there's other opportunities to repurpose this message. And so inspired out of that was just the simple brand name of Content Supply. That's my main brand, and I started up several years ago as a home-based business while I was still employed with my previous employer. And eventually I went full-time with it not too long after. And I just found the love of working from home and the autonomy.
You're still working out of your home office, right?
Yeah, I am. It's funny. If you talked to me only a few months ago, we moved from LA to Denver not too long ago. And I first was working out of my bedroom, a few feet from the bed. That wasn't really the most healthy, to be honest, because I literally roll out of bed and work. And then
you got to make sure you, throw out those Cheeto bags and everything. You got to get out of the bedroom.
Lick those fingers off before I type in the keyboard. And then it just kind of progressed. I took over my little son's room, and then eventually moved here, and I have my own dedicated home office. And so it's a great place to be. Great transition.
Standing where you're in a hot market niche, video just keeps on growing and growing and growing. Well, let's dive right in and talk about how important video is. Dallin, why should an entrepreneur, use video in their marketing and business building activities?
Yeah, to me, it's all about relevance and visibility. When you don't use video, especially as a home-based business owner, any kind of business owner, people can't visibly see you and experience you. And that, I believe, in order to make businesses more human nowadays, Zoom has definitely helped accelerate that, right, with simple video conversations. But beyond that, you need to truly build out a video supply inside of your business for continual visibility. And as you're visible and share that powerful and positive message, then you become more relevant to the right audience who you're looking to serve with your business.
Yeah, I think there's so many people, particularly for further back in the online world, there has been so much focus on getting a nice web page and graphics and text, but people forget. I mean, you multiply your visibility, your dimension by fourfold when you go video, and it just you've got to plug that in. Of course, you can't do as much video content because of the time, but you've got to add that to the mix.
Yeah, well, and one thing to add to that is if you think of how you experience your media, your entertainment, I can't even count the amount of streaming platforms on many different hands, right? That are available to subscribe and stream, and that's video content from an entertainment in education too. But then on top of that, you think of platforms like Instagram, where literally the CEO, I believe, announced that, hey, we are no longer a photo sharing app, but we are a video sharing app.
Oh.
They look at platforms like TikTok, of course, YouTube's been around, and the importance that all these platforms put on media, on video, is only going to continue to increase. And the importance of that relevancy in your market in order to stand out and be relevant is really essential to the success or failure of your business, I believe.
I'm just hoping that any entrepreneur watching this or thinking about getting started, it's important. It's not, you split things up like what's urgent and what's important, and you get focused on the urgent stuff, and the important stuff requires that you have to spend a little bit of time each day. Like, I've got a budget time to produce this podcast. Is it urgent? No. I mean, what's in my inbox is urgent, but I've got a budget time because it's important. It's just, I guess military will use the term strategic communications. That video just adds an element that you've got to make time for.
100% agree. Yeah.
What's the first step in planning out an engaging video that people will want to watch?
The first step is message clarity. You need to understand what you need to say in your video for your audience to actually want to first listen or watch, and then eventually respond to, which is taking action. That action can be as simple as clicking a like button, leaving a comment, subscribing to your channel, whatever it may be.
I'm trying to get people to subscribe.
Yeah, so subscribe to the Home Business Podcast.
And stream it.
And so it's it's as simple as that, but you got to make sure that message is relevant. And to me, messaging trumps visual any day. I kind of laugh myself because this part of me is a massive video expert, yet I'm using my built-in webcam for this video experience. I did have a tech issue beforehand, but the important thing is that you publish and you show it on camera, no matter the quality of the camera, because that's going to slow down too many people for months and years. And you focus first on like, hey, is my message compelling and interesting and relevant to who I am serving? And once you have that, check that off, then any video to create, whether it's from your phone, your webcam, or professional camera, will be even more impactful.
What do you think about using a hook? The hook being, you've got, I say you've got 30 seconds. When I'm saying email, you've got the subject line. Somebody's watching your video. You might only have maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. You got to make that connection right away. So there'll be something interesting. So they'll be interested to keep watching.
100% agree. And that's especially from an ad side, let alone any kind of content. You got to hook attention and within a matter of seconds, right? Like,
right.
Say that hook should include a few things. One, it may be a question that's relevant to your audience. You may be calling them out directly by saying, what their identity is. It's like, hey, female entrepreneurs, or hey, home business owners. So that way people can immediately be like, hey, is this message for me or is it not for me?
Right.
And so I would add one extra thing, and kind of having something that maybe a little polarizing, or just gets them to be like, hey, is this worth my time? Because there's so much content to consume. We talked about all the platforms nowadays that you can jump on. And so a hook, you said it so right, Richard. A hook is essential.
Well, cool. I don't want to really get too much into technology here, but let's just talk it a little bit. What are your preferred platforms to create video content? We use, Now I have a program, and then we get on YouTube, a video program. Is there anything you like in particular for producing video?
Yeah, I mean, platforms and tools, there's so many out there. And I would focus always and first and foremost on YouTube because of the SEO power. It's something I kind of laugh at because I've been, my business has been helping clients for years, but I only really in the last few months this year have doubled down and focused on YouTube. And already, with just minimal effort, you can see leads coming into your business. You can see sales as a result. And that's what I've seen. And so YouTube as a platform, learn and understand YouTube because Google and YouTube play nice with each other. And that will only help with your searchability. And then beyond that, focus and go all in on one tool for different areas. I would have one tool for storage, where your video file is going to be stored at. I would have one tool for video editing, whether it's Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a popular one, or the list of dozens of others that are available, let alone doing it from your phone. But then, to me, one of the most important tools is literally something you always have on you. That's your phone. Right. And with your phone, it's the fact that it looks so good when you can record yourself from your phone. There's no longer an excuse that, hey, I don't have the right equipment or resources to record video. Actually,
that got me thinking. What you're saying is a good point. Like the perfection is the enemy of good enough. And if you try to just like get a perfect video and you delay doing it, but you can just do something simple on your phone, I would think do something simple on your phone and get the content out.
Yeah, well, and you find a lot. I mean, I find a lot more ads perform better when there's that kind of authentic approach from your phone. People know when it's a branded professional commercial when it's done from your phone. And there's a time and place for the different types of cameras you choose to use. But definitely what I find, whether you're working from home or, at an office, there's three key areas that keep people from recording videos. And when you can solve for all three of these, then the ability to hit record in an instant is going to be really easy for you. And to me, it's all about the barrier of technology, of environment, and then a mindset. So this is something I saw for two of these in a big way when I moved into our home here in Denver and had my own office, because my environment is 100% dedicated to creation, whether it's building the business, creating content for the business. And then my technology is always set up, assuming it works. But the technology is always set up, and within a few moments I can hit record. But then one of the hardest parts is mindset, right? Is like, hey, what am I going to say? Do people want to listen to me today? Hey, I feel like an introvert today. So it's getting past these mindset barriers.
That's a challenge for me because I don't want it to be like scripted, but I've got to plan. If you don't plan out something, you could start to ramble, and you've got to at least plan the message and the bullet points you're going to talk about.
Yeah. Yes, you definitely got to do that. Agreed.
Well, Tik Tok. I know it's out there. My kids are on it. It's driving me crazy. And I heard it recently surged past YouTube. I'm like you, I'm a YouTuber, but what do you have any comments about YouTube or TikTok? Should you try to market that by video? I'm not really sure how, I don't know if the jury's out yet on how well it can. I know people that have these huge TikTok followings make a fortune, but I'm not sure for the run-of-the-mill promotion where we're at with TikTok yet.
Yeah, to me, it's all about audience first. When you understand your audience and where they spend their time, then you'll know what platform is best for you and your business. And to platform first, because for example, let's say as home-based business owners, like you are my audience, and as I interact with you and learn, hey, how do you spend your time? And you may say, hey, we love YouTube for like education or inspiration, etc. And that's our main platform of choice. Then there's no reason for me to go on TikTok and to spend time on TikTok, because that can consume a lot of my time away from, say, getting better at showing up on YouTube. And so I think there's a lot of power to you said, the fact that, like you mentioned, Richard, that TikTok has surpassed uploads, right? Or the amount of videos.
Uploads, yeah,
Or things like that. But Yeah, I think the tricky thing with TikTok that I will have from a long-term strategy is it lacks on SEO opportunities.
Oh,
Like you create, it's kind of like Instagram Reels or Stories.
oh, okay. I see. That's critical. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to get that video
it's a
search engine optimized, and I've done that for a couple of clients inadvertently. I
yeah,
did a podcast, and then they were coming up on page one in like a separate box that has video. So yeah, that's a really good point you bring up. You're not going to get that by TikTok.
yeah, and it's like and Facebook's a very similar thing, right? Like I think those platforms are starting to make search engines more friendly to finding your content. But most powerful for years to come and why you should invest in it is YouTube. And I'm not saying like obviously like TikTok is a place to be. And I think the image of it now, and it's changing more around, hey, it's for dance videos, trends,
Right. Yeah.
more like Gen Zers, right? And I think with the up and coming generation being now or in the future, especially if TikTok's still around, which I'm sure it will be,
Oh yeah.
uh, is understanding that they're the future consumers.
Well, maybe just keep it in the back of your mind where it's going to go. I think maybe it's safe to say that everybody watches YouTube, but not everybody's on TikTok. So you got to guess at least check the the YouTube box first. I was thinking like, are you aging out with YouTube? But then you find out there's some 2-year-old kid that has 1 million followers on YouTube and has already got his college paid for the next 1,000 years. So I think YouTube has a lot of cross appeal. But I also I like your focus on the way you tie it into brand messaging. We always talk about brand and it's too often neglected. How do you tie how do you recommend tying your video into your company's brand message?
Yeah, to me, videos like any other type of content, if you're creating a webinar to sell something, or if you may have some kind of post for visibility, the brand message is the first step in anything you do related to marketing. So if you don't have a clear message, then your marketing won't work. After you have a clear message, and if you don't have a solid marketing plan, then your content, like video, won't work. And so, to me, it's a sequential path. Messaging, marketing, and then medium, so content. And with message clarity, to me, it's as simple as understanding who you serve, what they want, and then what's keeping them from getting what they want, and then how can you help resolve that pain and that problem.
So a brand messaging should be one of the first things you think about.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. In that those steps you're talking about. And I imagine it's better to keep a brand message simpler, just because you're going to lose it. Just in today's attention span of 2 seconds, you're going to lose people. But would you recommend trying to keep it as simple as possible?
Yeah, 2 sentences or less, I would say. And within those 2 sentences, you can call out the people, the problem, and the payoff. So
like when you're doing a video, I get maybe it's, you got to initially tie it into the brand's message and then, subtly and briefly reinforce that message throughout the video.
Exactly. Yeah. Throughout the video, but also throughout any future video piece of content you create. Because think of the content message you put out kind of like a political campaign, or maybe you're trying to be promoted at work, or obviously, you own your own home business. You go on this campaign and you deliver the same message over and over again. Maybe you shake it up a little bit, but new people will hear it. And you got to kind of treat your content like you're going on a campaign of sorts.
Yeah, you got to hit that message 100 times with somebody specifically before they're going to remember it. I think that's lost on a lot of people. Your message, but you got to keep repeating it to other people. So I like that because you got a lot of different videos. They've got to link together. Maybe that's a way. All the different videos you create have got to link together to reinforce that same brand message.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a consistent narrative.
Right. This ultimately comes down to creating a video that your audience will respond to. So I know we could talk about this for 2 hours, but do you have any critical success factors in particular to hone in on to creating an effective video?
Yeah, to me, I would say, and you kind of brought it up earlier, Richard, start with a clear hook, very quick, tell a compelling story, and then end with an offer. Like a hook story offer type combo is good. And that way you can quickly get to the point and invite them to take action, get them to respond to the video. And oftentimes I would definitely ask yourself, okay, with this video, as simple as it may be from my phone or from a professional camera, what do I want my audience to feel and do as a result of experiencing this piece of content? And
do you have any advice on how long a video be? Like when I'm doing a podcast, I want to keep it to, less than 15, 20 minutes. But I heard with, something more focused on advertising or marketing, you've really got to save the time down, maybe even keep it to less than a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah, that question has a lot of
yeah.
A lot of answers. I would say it definitely depends on your audience and platform. And so, for example, and I would even say and what point of the journey, your customer journey, it's being used for. For example, like you're saying, ads can be as short as a few seconds. We see a lot of just like quick animated ads that are simply just there to capture attention and then get you to click through. Or it can be as long as 5 minutes. We've seen 5-minute ads. You tell a compelling story, but it kind of has like a recurring arc. Like you have a beginning, middle, and end, and then you kind of repeat that again. And if the watch time is there, then eventually they click through. But videos can become longer and longer the further into your sales funnel or the customer journey that they.
I guess what's one thing important to bring out here, we've kind of batted around this, but you have marketing and you have advertising. I would think that you want to frame your ad within marketing, to tie into that content marketing. You don't want to just have an advertising message. You want to frame it in content marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And understand that it's giving the first introduction to you and your business, but even more so, it's inviting them on a journey to take with your business. And that journey will require additional messages from you. It's not just that ad. It doesn't just stop there. And actually, you referenced this early on, Richard, that nowadays with the tools, it's so easy to create videos, right? Over the phone, but 10 plus years ago, access to the tools was difficult. And so a lot of people focused on, hey, I'm going to create that one video, right? It was the Super Bowl, or it was that expensive brand video that you're trying to create just for your website. You're like, hey, this is going to last me like the next 30 years of my business. But that no longer works the same way. And especially if these messages are not about your audience. And so you have a unique opportunity with the tools at our fingertips at all times to create videos of any kind, of any length, honestly, and for you to test out and see what your audience does respond to. And they will tell you what they like and don't like.
So part of your content marketing is creating a broad breadth of videos that tie into that same brand. So we talked about brand message, but also communicating content to your audience that you can't look at. You shouldn't look at it as just one video, but how are you communicating with that content marketing through a series of videos? I like what you're saying, like that journey.
Yeah. To me, it is like a story, right? We know stories have a beginning, middle, and an end. Mm-hmm. And usually being that story, you need some kind of introduction to the main character. And that main character should be your audience, right? They are the hero of this journey. And so the more that you can build them up and give them successes and wins along each step of the way, and it's kind of like you're guiding them by the hand. You're the Obi-Wan Kenobi to the Luke Skywalker,
That's the way I look at it. It's a journey, and you're kind of the ringleader pulling them along. We are getting towards the end here. Do you have any additional advice for actually marketing a finished video? Now, if you do it right and you get it out there exposed, it'll get pulled into your market. But in addition to that, any advice on promoting a video?
Yeah, it's a great question. One thing I love about that is that video is another marketing asset. Like you do with any type of marketing material, you test it, you improve it, you optimize it. And so as you create videos, some videos can be as simple as recording from your phone, going live and pushing out there. Other videos can be more pre-recorded, but the goal is, hey, just publish, see how people respond, and then make the next video better. And maybe you have a video like this needs to be an incredible high-performing ad. and share with people, get their feedback and see what hook they respond to. Maybe you got to adjust your offer and call to action at the end, and just give opportunity for the video to evolve. And
like by sharing the video, just, doing some social media sharing or whatever, that can help you market. And
but I would definitely, as you build an email list, I would definitely focus on capturing leads with your videos, because you want your videos to have better ROI than just a social media post. And so that's why you need to have a clear messaging framework that goes into it. But then you can push out videos through email.
Do a ethical lead capture, through, you mentioned filters earlier, and then build up that list and market it, which is, you hit right the nail on there. That's what we do with the podcast. That's our primary way of podcasting that. Getting a podcast message out is capturing emails and then mailing to, separately through a list. So that's been pretty successful for us. So
that's great. Yeah. It's a great way to promote it.
Yeah. Just, email is so tough. It requires, that you talk about that journey and that constant message. You've got to just put out a lot of good content by email and keep it short and sweet. And, but I don't see how you get away from email, from emailing.
It's direct access. I mean, you see it when you're dependent entirely on social media platforms, their algorithms and your audience's ability to access your content just becomes more and more difficult. That's why you hear YouTubers say like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, because it makes it easier for them to see your content. Or you think of Facebook, where, whether it's your page, your group, it just doesn't make it as easy as it used to be. And so to me, email just gives direct access to your audience for them to be the first people to experience your message.
Well, it's video is a journey. There's no destination. Dallin Nead, this has been a great discussion on building better video connections. Do you have any final points you'd like to share?
Yes. Yeah. Just one final message is, in order to make businesses more human, you got to use video. You got to share your message. And to do that, I just invite you to have a daily conversation with video, as simple as recording from your phone and connecting with at least one customer out there. Will help build up that confidence and that clarity on knowing how to talk about what you do and why in a powerful way.
Well, that's a good way to end, because we're always we can't just listen to good things coming from a great guest. You've got to take an action step. You can't just listen to this podcast and then move on to the next thing. And what you're saying right there is make video, take a stab at it each day and communicate with someone, and it'll get better with time. So thanks again. To learn more about Dallin Nead and his company, visit videosupply.com or our podcast website for more information on guests. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Home Business Podcast. Share your feedback with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or at our website, homebusinessmag.com. Visit our website for more information on advertising. Subscribe to the newsletter. Read the Home-Based Business Startup Guide. For more information, please visit homebusinessmag.com or thehomebusinessexpo.com. I'm Richard Captain Henderson saying anchors away. We'll talk to you soon. Until then, make it a great home-based biz day.